Awesome. So hopefully you can see my screen and you can hear my voice. So I'm going to check it on Facebook on my phone and see that that's the case. So hopefully my volume is on and you guys can hear me. Awesome. I love when technology works. So I'm sorry I'm a little late. It was, I was trying to get this to work and it wasn't working, but now it is. So everything is all good with the voice. So I'm going to check it on Facebook on my phone and see that that's the case. So hopefully my volume is on. All right. So hopefully just a second. Let me share this to the event. So for those people who followed instructions, they could actually see it on AZ. Good to have you on. I can see you on my phone. So let me share this out. I tried to use all of the features. I'm supposed to be a Facebook guru, so I try to use every last feature that Facebook has to offer. And I'm not going to lie, it sometimes trips me up. So let me just share the live on the event page so that those who, all right, so I think we're, yes, perfect. We're on the event page. And now you guys can see me. And let me get my phone up so that I can see it, see your comments on, because I cannot share and see your comments at the same time. So I am totally exhausting all technology available to me right now. So great to have you on, Z. Super excited that you are here with me. And we are going to get started in just a second. I don't think I can share the presentation this way, so I'm just going to kind of share it in the view mode. So hopefully you guys can see that. I'm seeing what you guys can see, and then I want to be able to address your questions. Sanquilla, Jane, thanks for joining. Okay, so it looks like you guys can see the presentation. I think we're doing good. Okay, so super excited that you guys are here. If you can, in the comments, let me know where your location is. That would be great. And today what we are going to be doing is we are going to be going over the details of what it is to have your, to determine your travel niche. Because what we want for you while you kick off your travel business is we want you to be focused. We want your dollars to be focused. I want your time to be focused. I want everything about your business to be super successful, and that success is contingent on you being focused. All right, so what we're going to be doing and kind of how my live trainings are going to be work, if you're new to me, I'm just going to kind of step you through some content. At the end, there'll be a Q&A. If you have any comments or questions throughout, please do not hesitate to post them in the live stream, and I will stop and answer the questions, and we'll go from there. So we're going to go ahead and get started because I think we are for sure going to take at least 60 minutes, and depending on how many questions you guys have, we may take as much as 90 minutes. So you are here if you want to know how to determine your travel niche. This is all part of the Business Foundations program that I am creating associated with the Business Jump Off, launching your travel business. So the first thing associated with your travel business is ensuring that you have a good solid foundation, and week one is about you getting the focus about exactly what your travel business is going to be about. All right, so today what we're going to cover is we're going to talk about why having a travel niche is important. I've been talking about it all week, so hopefully this is not new to you, but we're going to go over the particulars of why it's so very important for the success of your business for you to have a niche determined. Additionally, what we're going to be going over is the process, right? So how do you actually determine a niche? There is a process that I've created that helps you sort of step through it so you're not just sort of kind of picking things out of the air. And then ultimately, I'm going to show you how you use the worksheet that's available in the group. And then we're going to talk about what the next steps are for you, right? So after you determine your niche, right, and you go through the worksheet, what is it that you need to do? All right. Okay, so who is this workshop for? So I want to be really super clear, and as I do with all of my trainings, I really try and start with who's it for and who it's not for, so that you, if you're in the wrong place and you're like, this is not for me, that you're not wasting your time, right? The worst thing I would hate for you to do is waste an hour of your time on information that's really not pertinent to you. So the first thing is that if you're a new travel agent or a prospective person, entrepreneur who's about to start their travel business, and you're trying to figure what to focus on. Let's say you've already made the decision to be a travel agent and you are sort of floundering in, you know, you've got people, you've told a couple of people, you're floundering in, well, what is it that I can focus? When you are a travel agent, you have the entire world at your fingertips in terms of who and where you can book, right? So I want to make sure that you want to be able to focus and that you're not really trying to be a jack of all trades. If you are an agent, or the thought of actually, you know, formalizing this into a business seems a bit overwhelming and you're a little anxious about all the possibilities, because I know I was super anxious when I started, then this absolutely training is for you. If you want to promote your travel packages, you have identified a sale, you have an event or promotional idea that you want to do in your business, then this is going to be what you want. You're in the right place. This training is great for you. Now, if you are new to the travel business, so most of the people who are in this group have not necessarily launched their travel business, or they're actually newbies in the business. I want to make sure that you are interested in making a profit in your offers, right? You don't want to just be posting randomly that you are a travel agent and you actually want to make money, or you actually want to have some success in promoting your travel packages or promoting the fact that you are a new agent. This is absolutely for you if that's the case for you. If you're also someone who likes to have like a process step by step and you need guidance and you need that help to organize yourself, then I'm the chick for you, because that's what I do. And then you want to allocate some time, money to achieve results, meaning you don't expect all of this to be free. You know that it's going to take some work on your end. I'm going to show you as much of the information that's available to you for free, but ultimately you are going to have to invest some time and budget in this. All right, so now, this is not for you if you just hate processes. Like if you see a process and you're like, oh, this is bullshit, I'm like so not into that, then you know you're not going to want to stay on this training, and you're not going to want to follow me, because I'm all about the process. I'm all about how to make sure that you just kind of get through something in a very easy way to do it, but it is a process. But if you like to sort of wing it and kind of figure things out on your own, this class is not for you, or even the whole program is not for you. This is probably, you're not in the right space. And then if you just kind of want to get rich really quick and you really think that being a travel agent is going to get you to that path, this absolutely is not for you either, because you know what? I'm not selling a quick rich scheme. I'm not telling you that, you know, all you need to do is follow these 5 steps and you're going to, you know, make $1 million tomorrow. That's not what this is about. This is really about launching a business that is going to be with you and make you successful in the long haul, right? So if you set up the foundation of your business properly and you follow the steps that we go over, not just for this class, but for the entire program, and you actually are dedicated to your business, you're going to make money, period, end of story, right? This is not like in 2 weeks, you know, 5 steps and boom, that's it. This does take some work. It does take some effort on your part to have a successful business. And so that's what I'm about, is teaching you about that. All right, so let's get to it. So who am I? Like, if you're new to me, some of you know who I am. Some of you don't know who I am. So let me just spend a couple of minutes talking about who I am and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So my name is Sunday Gardner. I am referred to as the Marketing Boss Pro. I do and train all things entrepreneurial marketing, right? So if you are new to business and you have been struggling with your business, In the past, before I created this program, I was focused on teaching all entrepreneurs on how to market their business, package up their products, get visible to the right people at the right time, such that they could sell whatever it is that they were selling. But recently, it keeps kicking you out. So Shankela, it could be that your connection is bad. If anyone else, is anyone else getting kicked out? And I'm on my phone and I'm still seeing it. So it must be that your connection is not good. So for me, what I did recently before I started this program, which is the Business Jump Off program, I have been a travel agent for 2 years now. I'm what I refer to as a undercover travel agent, which is I became a travel agent in 2016, really for my family only. I only wanted to create packages so that we could travel at the best possible rate. And I really wasn't trying to kick off a business in 2016. And my focus has been over the last 2 years and more on, really growing my marketing, training business, and teaching people how to market their business. But I sort of recently just determined that there is a big demand for people who are already in the travel business or who would love to get in the travel business and either be their own travel agent or actually start a travel business as their primary source of income or as a secondary stream. So I decided to marry the two of those love. I love travel, and I love training. And so we've married the two of those together to create what we now have is the Business Jump Off, the starting your own travel business, right? But I have over 15 years of experience launching businesses. I've been an entrepreneur for over 12 years. My family, we own a barbershop. I've also owned a salon in the past and currently have my online marketing training business. We do most of our training in what is referred to as the Marketing Boss Academy. You'll hear me reference that. That is where my online courses are bundled. And if you ultimately decide to become a travel agent within my organization, what you will do is have access to that training in the Marketing Boss Academy as well. All right, so enough about me. Let's sort of talk about what I'm going to promise you and what you're going to get out of not only this class, but the entire program as you go through the program with me over the next several weeks. My promise to you is that, you know what, I've been where you've been launching a new business, and launching a new business is frustrating and it can be hard if you don't know what you're doing. But my promise to you is that if you stick with me, I'm going to teach you how to be visible. I'm going to teach you how to package up your products and get them in front of the right people so that you are selling, right? That you are not wasting your time launching that business to crickets, right? If you've ever started a business and no one has been there to receive you, I'm going to teach you on how to do that and launch properly, right? Not only launch your business, right? Kick it off, but actually operate such that you can continually attract strangers to your travel packages, to your offers, to whatever that you want to do in your travel business. You can continually attract strangers, convert them to paying clients, and create a solid sound base. Because frankly, at the end of the day, to be a successful business, you have to crack that nut. You have to have the ability to attract strangers on a regular basis to your business and convert them to clients, right? That's what you need to do. And you also need the ability to ensure that you can keep the clients that you have, right? Make sure that they continue to love you and they continue to support you because you are amazing at your travel superpower. All right, so today, first thing we're going to start with is why do you even need a niche? All right. I erroneously, as many people, when I started my business, is I wanted to be a jack of all trades. I wanted to just sort of jump out there and say, hey, world, I'm out here and I'm available for your services. And what I will tell you is when you're a small business owner or you're an entrepreneur and you are trying to market and find people, right? So once you've exhausted your family and your friends and you've exhausted your immediate network, you're going to have to find people, right? And there's a couple of ways that you can find strangers, right? You can meet every single body that you meet person by person and do an elevator pitch and tell them what it is that you have to offer, right? You're a travel agent and you can do that. The other way is that you can surgically seek people out through paid advertising or some sort of paid advertising strategy. That is what I teach, because I do most of my stranger identification and marketing through advertising, Facebook ads, right? But the idea is when you're surgically trying to find people, you really need to be speaking their language. You need to be looking for people who are interested in what you have to offer, right? So if you just start marketing yourself as a travel agent, right? I have fill in the blank, whatever the name of your travel agent. I'm going to use my travel agency name, and it's called Sugar Travel Company, right? And if I just start marketing Sugar Travel and just say, hey, I'm a travel agent, I post some pictures, but I don't really focus that, I'm going to waste a lot of time in my advertising. I'm going to waste a lot of time in my efforts, and I'm going to wait for people to come to me when they have a particular need. Great, I planted the seed, but I'm really not driving people to purchase a specific package or to start spending right now, right? And when you're marketing, that's what you want. You want people to open up their wallets today, right? Or in the very near future, because you want to be able to tie every piece of advertising dollar to an action. And that action is them actually purchasing your travel packages or your travel, event that you've put together, whatever the fill in the blank event or marketing thing that you have relative to your travel business. And we're going to be talking about how to create those. You want people to buy. You don't want them to buy 6 months from now. You don't want them to buy a year from now. You want them to buy now, right? So you want to create packages that will drive them to buy, right? But if you're general about your marketing, you're going to waste money, you're going to waste time, and you're really not going to get clients immediately. You will ultimately in the long term, but you won't get them immediately. So finding a niche is going to allow you to conserve time. It's also going to reduce your expenses, right? Meaning your advertising dollars, your marketing dollars, everything associated with you getting the word out about your business will start to reduce when you are focus, because you're going to be able to see that return a lot quicker than when you do general advertising. You're not McDonald's. You're not Coca-Cola, right? Those companies can do general advertising, right? Not have a sale, not have a package, not have a perk, because people already know them. You're new to the market. People don't know who your company is. They don't know how amazing your services are going to be or what kind of packages you can put together. So the only way for you to do that is to tell them and to give them something to actually sink their teeth in. And then obviously the last part is to increase income. You increase that income by immediately getting sales based on particular packages that you're going to put together, right? So that niche is going to allow you to get that tunnel vision and focus on a specific area, either destination, hobby, interest area, whatever. We're going to talk about exactly how you do that. All right. Okay, so what's the process? The process is pretty simple. We've been talking about it pretty much all week. We've been talking about the fact that I want you to think of this process as really a brainstorming session. So before you start going out and doing all this research about, what are the top 10 best destinations, I want you to actually sit down with a piece of paper. You can sit down with a blank sheet of paper, or you can sit down with the worksheet, but I want you to break it up into 3 areas that you're going to be looking after. And those 3 areas are as follows. It's hobbies. You're going to be looking at what are the things that you like to do, because if you like it, you're going to be able to sell it because you're going to know about it, right? It's going to be something that interests you. The worst thing that you can do in any business that you start, travel or otherwise, is to do a business that you don't like, right? To be involved in some area that you don't like or don't care about, because I'm telling you, having a business, if you've never had one before, it takes a lot of your energy, right? It takes a lot of your time. It takes a lot of your money, right? It doesn't have to take, I'm not talking like 24 hours a day, but it does take your time and it does take your energy, and you should enjoy it. You should wake up every day loving the business that you have. So that's why I say start with hobbies, right? right? What do you like to do? What destinations do you like to travel and network, right? So that's what we're going to talk about when we go through the steps of the process. But this is really going to be from the perspective of you, right? You as an individual, what do you like in these areas? And then we're going to put it together so that you can come up with a niche that makes sense for your business and then start selling it. And then once you know your niche, then we'll talk about how the hell you market it, because that's going to be all the fun stuff. All right, so the first area is your hobbies, right? So I've been talking at nauseam the last couple of days about hobbies, right? So you guys have given me some really great hobby ideas about the things that you like to do and the things that interest you, right? And so really what I'm looking for you to do is for you to brainstorm a list of the things that you're passionate about, the things that you have knowledge about, the things that interest you personally, right? Because those things built around travel are going to be the things that you're going to be able to create unique destination, travel destination, unique travel experience, unique education experiences with the travel component to it, all of that. So I want you to be passionate about whatever it is that you are putting down as your list of hobbies, right? Knowledgeable about that. Even if you don't have the knowledge, I'm going to talk to you a little bit later about how you get the knowledge, as long as you're passionate or interested in it, right? Passion is sort of a nebulous thing, right? Like, do I have passion or don't I, right? Do I really, really love the Caribbean or don't I? Well, I really love the Caribbean. I really love the beach, right? So everything that I do around travel is really centered around being around water, big bodies of water. So cruises are a part of my niche. Beaches, and I happen to love all-inclusive beach resorts. So that's another part of my offerings that I include. And I have personal knowledge of that because I've experienced it myself. And that's something that I enjoy personally, right? I like to decompress when I go on travel. I don't like to have to organize one thing. I don't want to have to do, a 5-day itinerary for, the 5 of us in my family. I like it to be a no-brainer. I want someone else to think of that, put together I don't even want there to be an itinerary, actually. I just want there to be, drinks and an umbrella in my drink and me sitting by the pool or the beach all day long. So that is the reason why all of my destinations are centered around that thing, because that is what I love to do. So I want you to think of the same thing. What is it that you love or are interested in? You either have personal knowledge or you want to gain knowledge in that area. Okay. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to pop them into the group and let me know, okay? Okay, so the next item is destinations, right? So here, what I want you to do again is I want you to think about what are the destinations that you love, right? Where are the places you want to go? Where are the places that you want to go, the places that you've been in the past, and what's common about them, right? So when I think about all of the destinations that I've been to, I look around, I've been to a lot of states in the United States, and if those states didn't have beaches, it was because I was traveling for business, right? So the commonality for me is that all the places that I go to have beaches, right? Because I personally love beaches. So obviously doing something that's centered around beaches is important for me, right? I love to drink, right? I love to relax when I'm on trip. I love good restaurants and food, right? So having a place that has really nice restaurants is really important to me, and choice, a variety of restaurants, right? So that's also important to me. Tatiana, nice to have you on. So destinations, right? Now, you guys have been posting in the group 5 and 6 destinations that you want. And I want you to think a little bit smaller than that. It's not that I don't, I'm trying to cramp your style, but if you put 5 destinations right off the bat that you want to specialize in, day one, it's going to be overwhelming because there's a lot to learn about a particular destination. If you heard my live last night, what I had mentioned to you is my 2 destinations on my roadmap list of things that I want to specialize are Mexico and Jamaica for sure. By 2019, I'd like to add Alaska to that. But I've started with these two, and even me, who understands the importance of niching down and focus, I said Mexico. And in my mind, I was thinking, oh, Mexico is great. I've been to Mexico, and I think that'd be a great candidate. Well, just by the selection of that one country alone, Mexico is as large as the United States, right? At least in terms of, Mexico goes from California to Texas, and, depth-wise, it's about half as deep as the United States, meaning it's the half as wide as the United States is from, north to south. And I'm like, Mexico is huge, right? So I really need to be more specific. Do I want to just focus on the destination that I've been to, or do I really want to specialize in the entire country, right? And so when I talked to the travel and tour representative from Mexico a couple of weeks ago, she sort of put that in perspective to me, that there are 3 areas of Mexico that would be a great focus for me as an agent. And those are the 3 areas that I'm going to do. I'm also going to specialize in that too. So we're going to talk about education in a second. But destinations is critical as part of your determination of what your niche is. What are you interested in learning about, or you've been and you want to promote that place that you've been before? Don't forget, I want to also tell you guys, don't forget your hometown. Don't forget the place that you're from. So I live in the DFW area, and we always consider when we do travel that it has to be travel that is far and exotic, and it doesn't have to be. You could organize travel packages in your own home state and attract people who are out of state, out of country, into your locale, right? So I don't want you to think about where you're from, right? If you're in a major metropolitan area, like I'm in the DFW area, there's a lot of events that go on in large cities, concerts, sporting events, music, arts, just any type of thing that you can think of. And what made me remind me of that is Z wants to specialize in gourmet desserts, I think. And, it sort of hit me as a eureka that, desserts, well, you put together a dessert, do a dessert tour. And I thought you could do it locally, right? So I don't want you guys to forget your destination in your hometown. Where you're currently living is a great destination as well, particularly if you're in a large metropolitan area, or if your hometown or where you live has major attractions. So don't forget your home place as a destination as well. Sorry, Zig, about getting kicked out, but it looks like you got back in. All right, so then the next area for you to look at is your networks and your connections and available groups that are there for you. And so what does that mean, right? Really, what is that all about? So let's use desserts as an example. Immediately what came to mind is schools, right? Culinary schools, right? Culinary schools, restaurants. The culinary schools have groups, restaurants have groups. I'm sure in the food industry, there's probably some association with desserts, right? Some association with different types of cuisines, right? So what kind of networks are those? I would want to then affiliate myself with those networks and then start to determine what kind of information and or packaging you can do with those networks, right? What types of connections do you have? So if you love Z desserts, right? Do you bake, right? Do you bake? Do you know anyone who bakes? Are you part of any connections with bakers, right? I mean, I personally love to bake. I don't do it as much as I used to, but I used to, I would befriend bakers, right? So I had all these bakers in my, Rolodex, now that really dates me, in my Rolodex of people that I could go to when I didn't want to put together, I didn't want to bake a cake or I had a special event. So I had all these different bakeries that were there, right? So if you're going to do a dessert tour in your local area, those types of connections would be invaluable to have them come to, right? Restaurants that have, gourmet or signature desserts, or have them put together a taste testing with all the, my ideas just are like infinite when I think about like the connections that you can do. So these are personal connections that you're going to make in whatever your niche area is, right? Whatever networks that you have or that you can create in whatever existing groups of organizations that exist, right? So I want you to think national, but I also want you to think small as well, right? So meetup groups, are there meetup groups because your prospective clients may be in those meetup groups, right? So, the actual group, meetup group, has all these sort of local groups, right? You affiliating with those and letting them know, like, so if dessert's your thing or Mexico's your thing, is there a meetup group on people who travel to Mexico or want to travel or want to arrange? Could you create a meetup group and then start to get people who are interested in travel to Mexico or whatever the destination area that you're interested in, right? So this one is really important because this is you really getting your hands, your hands dirty by shaking people's hands and start getting affiliated with people in your niche area, right? So in your interest area. So either by destination, hobby, whatever that thing is that's going to be your niche, you want to make sure that you understand what networks already exist nationally, at the state level, city level. You want to know what connections you can create for yourself, and then what groups already exist nationally, state level, city level, or groups that you can yourself create, either socially through social media outlets, Facebook groups you could create, or groups that already exist. What do those groups are? Okay, so if you guys could just let me know that you're still out there, because I know you guys are saying you're getting kicked out. So what I will be doing for next week's training is I'm going to make sure to do this inside of a Zoom web conference so that you won't get kicked out of Facebook Live again, and then we'll just broadcast it live if we can do that. So Z, are you still there? Tatiana, are you there? Okay, I got some hearts, some likes. So it sounds like you guys are still there. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to bring all of the stuff that we've talked about, we're going to bring it all together, right? So hopefully you've downloaded the worksheet. The worksheet is to the left in the file section. I posted it on Sunday or Monday. And what this is a snapshot of the worksheet. And so what this is the first page is for you to just jot down all your hobbies, all the places, all the things that you love, that you have knowledge of, or you're interested in and you care about, right? And then the next thing is all the destinations that you've been. Again, don't forget your local destination if that's something that you want to promote, because, as Z sort of reminded me in terms of the dessert, and I came up with that sort of dessert tour thing. I was like, it'd be great if she put together, a travel package in her local area. She could meet with hotels and then local restaurants and or bakeries, and then do a tour of that and sell that package. And it, right? Because you will have visited those restaurants and or bakeries, and you would know that they have amazing desserts, right? I'd get together with your local culinary school, or and get recommendations from them, right? So destinations, don't forget your local destinations. And then type of travel. So what we're talking about here is type of travel is, right, do you want to do cruises? Do you want to do, like Lila's doing, she's doing ocean safari, right? So that's got an element of scuba diving with it, right? So those people who are interested and are scuba divers, they're going to know that it's going to be a water trip, right, for them, right? So they may need to fly to the location, but they know that they're going to be in water most of their time on the trip, right? So really the types of travel that you want to be that you're interested in, right? So is it adventure travel? Is it relaxation, right? What type of activities will people be doing on the travel excursions that you put together. What is going to be of interest to you, right? So if you are like, when I was younger, I was the type of traveler that loved to like go and I still kind of like this, but not so much now. But I did like to explore. Like I'm an avid history person. So I love going to museums. I love reading like everything about every piece of art, every piece of whatever it is so I love to read and capture the information. I love to know the history of a thing, right? So is the travel for education, right? There are people who just specialize in just the education of whatever location it is that they are going to go travel to. And then again, as we mentioned, the networks, right? So the first sheet is really about you brainstorming, right? Getting all of your ideas on one page. I want to tell you, right? This sounds like a lot of work, but damn it, don't forget to have fun. I want you to have fun with this, right? I want you to think about all the things that you wanted to do, because now you get to do this. Not only do you get to put together these packages and you get to think about and learn about it, right? But you get to think about it and do it for yourself. So you get to immerse yourself in this thing that is of interest to you, right? And until such time it becomes boring to you, you get to then learn all about it, right? Not only are you going to learn about it, obviously you as a travel agent are going to need to do it as well. So that should be pretty exciting. So I want you to have fun. I want you to really think, like, open up your brain about all the possibilities in terms of what you could do in these areas for yourself. Okay. And then the next step is the second sheet is that you're going to put it together. And that really is you're going to put it together based on hobby, right? So let's talk about, I'm going to use Dee's example because I really love that dessert example. We're going to say, you know, I love dessert, right? That's my hobby. I love going to different desserts, right? And so my particular dessert is cheesecake. I love all things cheesecake. I love, you know, there's a certain type of cheesecake I like. I don't like crumbly cheesecake. I like really soft, creamy cheesecake, but I love cheesecake. So usually when I go to a new restaurant for the first time, I always look to see what kind of cheesecake they have, right? So you could do, you know, hobby, group it by desserts, right? And then like different types of desserts or different types of desserts, right? That could then be your second type. You could break it out like that, right? So let's just say your hobby is desserts. All kinds of desserts, doesn't matter, right? The next area that you're going to do is, are you going to do desserts by, you know, you could do it by culture, right? So destination, right? So again, I use my example, Mexican and Jamaican, right? What kind of desserts are in Mexico, right? They have a very distinct dessert palette versus Jamaican desserts, right? Their desserts are not as glorious as American desserts, right? So, right, America, that could be a destination in terms of desserts, right? I immediately, when I thought of desserts, I was like, Paris, right? You like the best dessert cooks and chefs come from Paris, right? They come from France. I don't know, that's immediately what comes to mind. I just think of desserts and I think of Paris, that I want to go to Paris and eat up as much bakery as I possibly can, right? So chocolate is a big thing. There's a chocolate, I think, Pennsylvania, where the Hershey place is. You could create a whole package around that, right? So again, destinations. That's what you want to do. What are the types of travel associated with those destinations, and are there networks, right? I just gave you, right, desserts. Could you do it around like candy, right? And then have a tour around all the candy factories and, you know, make that like a big giant package where, you know, every quarter they go to a different location and they're looking at candy factories. I don't know. I'm making this stuff up as I go, but because the point is you really could go deep and long. And I promise you, you narrow this down, and let's just say Z picks just chocolate, right? She could create an entire business around chocolate desserts and travel to chocolatiers, right? And I bet you there is a national network of chocolatiers, people who make chocolates or are interested in chocolates and will want to buy those packages, and we could find them on Facebook through advertising. That's the level of niching that I'm talking about doing, right? You want to know what destinations are available to whatever your hobby is. What types of travel are you doing? Do you want to do land travel? Do you want to do cruises that have special cuisine? I don't know if such such a thing exists, right? Create your own package of travel, right? What kind of networks exist around that particular hobby and or destination, right? So my hope is that makes sense, right? You are taking your hobby, all of the hobbies, you are grouping the hobbies and identifying destinations, types of travel, and networks associated with those particular hobbies, right? That's just a natural grouping that makes sense. You could flip it. You could do it by destinations and hobby, whatever, but I've selected hobbies, then destinations for you to do the grouping by. So I'm going to pause for a second, let it catch up. You just want to make sure that ultimately whatever you do, that you start to get more focused and more focused. So I've picked for Z, I picked on her desserts, right? Well, desserts is a big category, right? Are we talking pies? Are we talking cake? Are we talking pastries? Are we talking, candy? What kind of desserts are we talking about, right? So just with that one category, I have just figured out 6 subcategories underneath that she could do, right? She could focus on, pies. She could focus on chocolates, candies, right? And then pick destinations for each of those, types of travel for each of those that you'd want to do, tours, taste testing, combine it with wine. I'm always trying to combine food with liquor, some sort of wine or liquor. Networks, right? I guarantee you for desserts, there is some national organization that exists around the different types of desserts or bakery or pastry or something, right? There's local groups, I'm sure there are. So that's where you kind of want to take your category, break it down as much as you can, come up with areas that you want people to travel to, types of travel and networks. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. So Z, I see your I don't know if that's a scared face or a happy face or crying face. Like I can never tell what these emojis are. So you'll have to write it out for me because my Facebook, I don't know, it looks like a scared emoji con. Anyway, so hopefully that makes sense, right? If you guys, while you're on, if you want to throw up your hobby or your interest, we can break it down in this training, and I'll give you some ideas in terms of how you can break it down, use the worksheet so that you can apply it for yourself. But that's what we're trying to get down to is, desserts you love. What kind of desserts? Where are you gonna focus to take people on dessert tours? Is that the type of travel that you want to do? Is tours around restaurants and the types of desserts that there are? What kind of organizations exist out there in the area around desserts? They're laughing faces. Okay, so I don't know what's funny, so you'll have to let me know what's funny. But that's kind of the idea, is for you to take it to its lowest level, figure out areas that you want, and then determine destinations and types of travel and networks that are available, because those networks, you're either going to build the network or you're going to infiltrate the network so that you can find your prospective customers there, because that's who you're going to market to. Now, wouldn't it be great if you could market to people that maybe you find a group that exists out there that is all about dessert lovers, right? I know there's got to be Facebook groups out there, dessert lovers, and you create local area packages in, some great places. Oh, the food and liquor comment, that's funny. Everything is food and liquor for me. You put together packages associated with doing tours in major metropolitan areas of the best kept hidden dessert areas, the top 10 places to visit if you're a dessert lover in these 5 metropolitan areas, right? And then you create those packages for that, right? You could even create even if what if it were people who already lived in those areas, they could then buy event tickets that you could work with the restaurants to get, again, you can do so many things, right? So I want you to really think out of the box about what you want, because whatever it is that you want and you love, we can create some very unique packages that are going to make you stand out as a travel agent and a travel professional than your competitors, right? Again, we do not want to be jack of all trades. We want to be very ultra specific so we can find our people and we can sell to them. All right, so then the next thing is that now that once you go through the brainstorming, you've picked your hobbies, you picked your destinations, you put it all together, and you're starting to formulate a plan. And you are starting to get an idea that, hell, you can actually do this, right? You can actually have a niche in an area that you love, and you can actually put together packages. You absolutely can. I want you to know that you can. Then you want to figure out what training opportunities exist for you. If you are going to be hosting travel events, let's say that there's a dessert travel convention, right, for dessert lovers. Again, I'm making it up because I don't know the niche, but let's say there is, right? Then you, by golly, ought to be creating the convention travel packages for those dessert lovers who have their own association, right? And you want to be getting with training for whoever's hosting it, right? Is it in a specific location every year, or do they change locations every year, right? So you want to make sure that you understand who the suppliers are. Desserts is very niche, so it's probably unlikely that you're going to find a travel training opportunity. It's going to be something that you're going to have to create yourself, similar to Lila, who's doing the ocean safari, because she is a marine. I think she's also a marine biologist as well as being a certified scuba diver. So she is already trained in that particular area. Same thing with you. If it's not travel related that you are niching to, but you're creating the travel package, you will have to bring that knowledge to the table or acquire that knowledge outside of travel training opportunities. But what I want you to be aware of is that once you determine where you want to go, the destination, there's destination training specific, say that 10 times, destination travel training usually available to you, like Jamaican specialists, Mexico specialists. I was talking to my mom yesterday, and she wants to learn all about Spain. So we found her a Spain specialist travel training through the through Spain's travel and tour industry. So destinations, if you pick a destination, we'll be able to find some sort of training, because those countries want you to sell travel to their country. Most countries are aware of the value that that travel brings to that tourism brings to their country. So then the other opportunity is interest training, right? So like desserts is an interest, right? But I don't know that we'll find some travel specific training on desserts, but we may. I haven't done any looking. There may be some travel associated with there may be some training available associated with the dessert market. I don't know, but I know for sure that there are some common interests that are out there, like weddings, honeymoons, destination weddings, scuba diving, adventure tours. I met one gentleman who he does not high-end tourism, but he does adventure tours where you stay, like, let's say you want to go to Croatia. I want to say he did Croatia. He did, I don't know, Croatia. Maybe Croatia was, I don't remember the country, but he did non-traditional, off the beaten path type of excursions, right? And those excursions were people who really wanted to immerse themselves in the non-tourist travel of a particular country. So I know he did Jamaica, he did Mexico, and he also did some European countries where you travel and you stay in local area accommodations, not like common travel, common chain hotels. It would be that you were truly immersed in that particular culture. Partnering with someone like that, if that's your interest, would be a great thing for you to do. He's a supplier, right? He's a travel supplier. So again, there are opportunities for you when you are with the host agency that immediately you get opportunities for this from a training perspective. You normally do not have to pay for this training because if you are with a host, that agency usually already has the ability to partner with the people who provide that training or get access to the training quicker and normally free to people who partner with host agencies. So that's really important to know. And we're going to go over a couple of these options so that you can see what's available. So on the supply chain. So let's say you, like, for example, myself, I know that I want to go to Atlantis, which is in the Bahamas. And it's a resort in the Bahamas where they have, I've been seeing these commercials for years, and I've been wanting to go with my family, and they have an Atlantis ambassador. And this is through travelacademy.com, and it's travelagentacademy.com, actually. So forgive the source incorrection on the top, but they have an Atlantis ambassador. So this hotel has created a certification and a training program all about their resort, where you can learn all the ins and outs about their resort. And then once you get the certification, you get a designation. And then you also, and I'm actually going to take you through an example of this so you can see what it actually looks like. But the suppliers, any supplier that you find, from a hotel to an adventure, a tour guide, or whatever, they most likely, if they're large enough, they're going to have some sort of training that they're going to want to provide agents, right? Because again, it's a mutually beneficial thing for you to be educated as the seller of that travel in all that is their properties, such that you can you can sell it properly. You can talk about all the amazing features and why it's such a great place to stay and lodge or experience whatever it is that they have to experience. So the suppliers have a vested interest in you learning about their products, right? So most of the large suppliers will have training available for us agents, such that we can immerse ourselves in their property, even if we haven't had the opportunity to visit the property. Not only that, in terms of training, you also, I would say, most of them, I know that there are a few hotels, but most of the large, particularly when you start talking resorts and large hotel suppliers and adventure suppliers, will have agent rates, which means they want you to come and visit their property, and they will discount their room rate such that to make it even more attractive for you to visit their property and experience it. All right, destinations. So we've talked a little bit about the available destinations. Now, this is just what is available. This is just the first page of what's available in a Travel Agent Academy. This is 3 pages deep. So I just took a snapshot of the first 3 pages. They've got Aruba, they've got Atlantis, they've got Hawaii. Hawaii and Croatia are new. Fort Lauderdale, I think, has been there for a couple years because it's been on my list of things to take. But again, this is only one source, right? Like I said yesterday, I was helping my mom. She wants to do Spain. Spain wasn't on here, but we were able to find a Spain travel specialist certification that she could take that was offered by the Spain Travel and Tourist Guide company. Again, they have a vested interest for you to immerse yourself in their culture, understand their country, so that you can recommend you can recommend a travel to their country, because most countries, they thrive off of tourism, so they want to encourage. So most of the travel organizations, travel and tourism organizations of a country will have some sort of certifications that they either make through a third party or offer themselves. All right, so this is destinations. And then what I wanted to do is because on Travel Agent Academy, I didn't see any interest travel training, but what I did find is one of the hotels that I have access to as an agent, I wanted to show you that they have interest categories and they offer training to the agents in the way of being a vacation specialist, a consultant, a wedding consultant, and a honeymoon and anniversary consultant, right? And the idea with each of these training opportunities is for you to immerse yourself in their property and then provide the benefits of why their property would be the perfect host for either a vacation, a wedding, or a honeymoon / anniversary, right? So the hotels actually have interest-based training available, and also suppliers of excursions, events, and that kind of stuff. They usually will have some sort of training that's available. They also have marketing available for us travel agents as well. All right, so that is, let me just do really quick. You know what, I'm not going to be able to do this because I don't think I can share my screen without it going crazy. So unfortunately, I won't be able to share the site like I had wanted to, but maybe this week what I'll do is I'll do a short video and I'll post it in the group so that you guys can see just what the Travel Agent Academy has to offer. But again, that's one of many sources of training that you have available to you when you sign up with our host agency. And if you're already an agent, you already have access to this. And for this type of training. So I want you to leverage that. But again, I don't want you to go all over the place. I want you to really tie that to whatever the niche is that you've picked and the destinations that you've picked. All right, so that pretty much covers what we have done. Today we went over why it's important to have a niche. We talked about the process of creating and how to use the travel niche worksheet. I'm also going to be giving you guys a bonus throughout this week. I've been posting some niche ideas. I'm going to give you a bonus at the end of the week that's going to have all of those ideas in one document so that you can refer to that. And that'll be available for one day only. So you're going to have to look out for when that is. I'll make sure to do a live on the day that I post it so that you know that it's available. But you'll have all of them so you don't have to comb through the site. You'll have all of those ideas in one place and you can refer to them. And they're done based on major categories. Again, it's not an all-inclusive list of every possible derivative, but it really is a great starting point for you to utilize. All right, so what's the next steps? For you, really, let's talk about that. Really, if you're not a travel agent yet and you are like, oh my God, I can't believe it. These are great ideas. I really am excited. Hell, I even want to be a travel agent for myself. Ping me, ask me how. It takes 5 minutes to become a travel agent. That is like the least of your worries. Once you become an agent, you'll get access to not only the training, but you'll get access to be able to book your own travel as an agent or for others and get commission off of that. Whole world will open to you. First step is to become an agent. You want to download this worksheet. If you're affiliated with my Sugar Travel as an agent, you'll get access to this worksheet inside of the Marketing Boss. You'll have unlimited access to not only this module, but the entire program. You want to select a couple of niche areas to focus on. And more importantly, what you want to do is you want to determine your training schedule. You want to, and it looks like this version of the presentation does not have the training schedule, but the worksheet does have the training schedule on it. And really what you want to do in that training area is you want to identify what's available in training, and you want to make a commitment to yourself as to who's got the training, when are you going to take it, and when did you take it, so that you can start to check that off your list, right? Because knowledge is key. It's not going to be enough for you to just put together a package and you can't speak to it, right? Because when we start talking about marketing your business, it's going to be aggressive marketing I'm going to do, right? It's not going to just be posts. It's going to be you being live, talking about these destinations, talking about your niche, talking about the packages, right? And so people are going to want to hear and feel that energy that you are going to have. So you're going to need to have at least a little bit of knowledge of the area. So I want you to commit to your training schedule. What is it your niche is going to be? What do you have to learn to be able to sell it and market it, right? What do you need to immerse yourself in? What kind of relationships? And use that training schedule and determine what it is and adhere to it. And then again, number 6, I put it number 1 and number 6. You need to become an agent because, again, most of the training is only available to agents. It's not available to consumers, regular consumers. You have to register usually under your agency or your agent ID in order to get access to these sites and to get access to the training that most of these companies provide for free. All right, and then what you want to do, number 7, is you want to actually enroll in the training and complete the training, right? So set the schedule, become an agent so that you can actually get into it, enroll in it, and complete it, right? And then you're going to get these certifications. And then I'm going to tell you when we get to marketing in the last week what you're going to want to do with those certifications. But you're going to want to announce, hey, I am a Mexico specialist, right? You're going to want to announce that kind of stuff periodically so people know you take seriously what you do. and you're certified in it, right? You got a certification as a specialist in whatever that area is, and then you're going to start to put together those packages. But we'll talk more about that when we get to marketing your business. So I'm going to pause, and this is time now for Q&A. So I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to show you my face.